Today we are looking at an unusually complicated Rolex wristwatch. The Rolex Skydweller sets itself apart from any other Rolex thanks to its unique caliber. So let's begin by having a closer look at that. This movement was first introduced in 2012, so as far as Rolex goes, that makes this a very young and fresh caliber. It is an unusually complex movement as far as Rolex goes, so we tend to associate Rolex with highly accurate and robust movements, but not necessarily with highly complicated movements. So this is therefore a little bit of a special one. The Skydweller features a rotating ring command bezel, which allows you to engage and set the various complications such as the dual time display, the annual calendar, the month indications in the apertures here at the outer edge of the dial, and so on. As we will see in a minute, it is a truly unique way of interacting with your watch. Very, very fun. Now, if you have ever heard of Rolex, then surely you will also have heard of Roger Federer, another Swiss success story. Now, Federer is perhaps the brand's most famous brand ambassador. He signed his first contract with Rolex in 2006, 10 years for an estimated $15 million. Can you imagine somebody paying you $15 million to wear a Rolex wristwatch? Now, as that contract ran out, he then signed up again, this time for what has been reported as a very, very cool $9 million per year. Now, as you can imagine, the man now has a whole bunch of Rolex watches at home as a result. Yet, this very watch is the one that seems to be his go-to piece, judging by his appearances over the years. So, why is that? Well, that's anyone's guess, of course. However, this is a fantastic timepiece, not just for people who enjoy money, but also people who enjoy watches. In addition, for a person constantly on the move, the second time zone is of course a very welcome complication. And well, when comparing this to the standard GMT, for example, in Rolex's catalog, the Skydweller looks quite a bit more distinguished if you ask me. So let's take a moment to go hands-on with this watch and that bezel in particular. So this bezel here, Rolex calls it a ring command bezel. But really they should have just called it the magical bezel. So as you will see, the fluted bezel appears innocent at first glance, but as you click it into another position, yes, you can move this bezel, you then engage a new function of the watch. So here you see that as we reposition the bezel, we can choose a different complication. So to set the time zone, the month, the date, the hours and the minutes and so on. So absolutely fascinating, and the first time that I saw this, I was absolutely very much impressed. It's so unique. So let me know how you like it in the comments, I'm quite curious. In case you are still looking for the month indication, by the way, so you can see that indicated in the stealthy apertures at the outer edge of the dial here. Very, very unique if you ask me. Now, this watch is complicated and it has a bunch of stuff going on inside. Combine that with the precious metals and you get a watch that is not light on the wrist. Surprisingly heavy, not necessarily in a bad way, but let us say that you will not forget you have this on your wrist, which, considering the price, is perhaps not a bad thing either. The proportions on the watch are fine, but it is not a thin watch, so it has a thickness of around 14 millimeters. Now, with its fluted bezel and that familiar case design, there is no mistaking this watch for anything else but a Rolex. It looks very familiar. And to the untrained eye, I dare say that it doesn't look that much different from other watches in Rolex's catalog. It is a very fine watch indeed. Now, do you like it? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this content, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel.